I mean, it was never a conscious thing by any means. I never thought that I would become a chef until I became a chef, if you see what I mean. It wasn't a deliberate... I mean, the reason I did was because I was desperate to leave school. I hated school. I always hated school. And because my parents were big foodies, they were eating at Barara Waters Inn and had established a relationship with Tony and Gabe. And they had mentioned through to my mother, just did she know anyone, any kid that wanted to, you know, they were looking for an apprentice. And she happened to mention this to me, and I just, you know, alarm bells went on. This is my ticket out of here, you know. This, I can get out of school, I can, you know, I can leave home, I can, you know, get on with my life. I don't know where I would have gone to work after Le Café, having done Barara, having done Le Café. There was, you know, things had changed obviously in those sort of 6 or 8 years. There's a lot more places, but I don't know. I don't seem to remember it ever being an option. And I mean, I just thought I just came to this conclusion for some reason, or decision rather, that it was time to open a restaurant. And it was probably too early to open one, if I think. Realistically, I'm not sure whether...
Too early in your life?
For me, yeah, perhaps, yeah, because, well, in retrospect, I would say that, because it was very successful in a funny sort of way, and for whatever reason, it seems to sort of have a degree of cult status associated to it, and it seems to hold sort of quite fond memories for people. I didn't really have any sort of preconceived ideas or knowledge, to be honest, of how to run a restaurant. So I'd do stupid things. I'd go to the fish market and I'd buy 12 live lobsters and put them on the menu and charge less for them than I actually bought them for, because I didn't feel I could charge any more for them, if you see what I mean. And I did that a lot. You know, and it's not like I ever sat down and did the books or, you know, even considered it. And it didn't seem to make any difference. You know, I was still paying the rent, you know, and drinking champagne, so I didn't care. I mean, I was 22 and there was no one telling me what to do.
And you're getting accolades.
And yes,
I mean, you became very well known.
Well, apparently, yeah. I mean, yeah. It seemed to just capture the right mood at the time, and it was people. I think people liked the fact that it was a bit dodgy, you know, where it was, and it was uncomfortable. But the music was really loud, and you know, I mean, we used to play the Cramps and you know. Led Zeppelin and you know all this kind of stuff, you know, in the restaurant. You know, I mean, I just shudder to think what it's like sitting down to a meal trying to, you know, listen to Black Sabbath Paranoid. I mean, you know, it's just bizarre when I think about it now. But it was very much just what we did. Life was out of control, and I just ran right, really. There was no one there to tell me how to behave or, you know, what I should be doing, or, you know, you might be sensible actually putting a bit of this money away instead of pissing it up against the wall at Kinsella's. When we decided to sort of pull out and sell up and what have you, it was kind of, I was left in limbo, you know. It was like, what the hell do I do now, you know? And it was almost like, well, I've done it, I've had it, you know, and nothing's ever been as sort of as good since, which is ridiculous, you know. I mean, that's sort of a crazy way to be, but in a funny sort of way, you know. I've never been as happy since with what I've done, you know, and it's never quite lived up to that expectation. And so that's why I say that having a restaurant at that age is probably, in retrospect, not a good idea, because I think if that came later, or I'd worked up to that, I would have appreciated it a lot more, and it would have meant a lot more. And I would have been able to use that more in my life now. But because it sort of all happened then and at such an early age, I think it's affected everything I've done since.